WWRR, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, WMMZ, Berwick, Bloomsburg, Hazleton, WYCK, Plains.
Powered by Mohegan Sun Pocono.
It's the New River, 105 and 103.5.
This is Music on the Menu on the River.
Timothy, where on earth did you go?
Featuring Northeast PA's best artists.
Maybe, never mind. She can move me like the stereo, like a song on the radio. She's an angel in the morning, yeah, that's right.
And now, here's your host, Alan K. Stout.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Welcome to Music on the Menu on the River. Alan K. Stout with you as I always am. Sunday nights, 9 to 10 o'clock, bringing you regional artists doing their own original material from right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. DC Taylor in the house. DC, good to see you.
You too, Alan. How's it going?
I'm doing just fine. And we've got some other special guests in the house as well. We told you last week that they were going to be here, and they are here. Richard Briggs in the house. Richard, great to see you. Richard's here every year around this time to talk about the upcoming Briggs Farm Blues Festival. Brett Alexander here. Brett's been on the show many times. Good to see you again, Brett. Brett performing at Briggs Farm again. If I have to guess, Brett, probably your fourth or fifth time probably going down to Briggs this year. More
than that. Well, playing with other people, yeah. Probably more than that.
More than that? Okay, yeah. I know I've seen you down there at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. He was actually at the first year. We did a folk festival, too. He's with the Badlees.
Badlees the first year, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So it was the blues and folk.
So you go way back with the event. And even though she does not want to appear on the show, it's always wonderful to see your lovely wife, Alison, here. Alison, welcome. You could say hello or wave or do something.
Hello.
Good. Always great to see you. Getting ready for the 22nd event coming up. Starting this thing back in 1997. Hard to believe it's been that long. Or 98. 98, yeah, because we did. Yeah, because when the 20th anniversary was 2 years ago, it was the 20th show. But
20th show.
Yeah,
22nd
right.
Show now.
22nd show.
Yeah.
Richard, we're going to talk about it. We're going to play some artists during the whole program that are on the event. We're going to talk about the history of the event. But my first question for you is, when you rolled this event out for the first time, more than 20 years ago now, did you envision it having this type of staying power where it's grown from, multiple days and the camping and the opening night, ceremonies and now it's a signature event, probably one of on the East Coast, certainly one of the biggest blues festivals and probably in the whole country. Could you ever imagine it would have gone this far?
Actually I did. I didn't think it would take this long. I envisioned it happening faster, but actually it was good. It was a good way to grow gradually. We definitely have the land to do it on, so we can grow, and that's what we're once again this year we put another 5 acres of camping field and another 2 acres of parking just to be ready. So and that's how it's been since the first year. We just every year we learn and grow a little bit more, but I didn't think it would take this long.
And I don't like to make assumptions for people that might be driving by. It's in Nescapec. Is that Columbia County?
No, that's in Lower Luzerne County.
Lower Luzerne County, because it's near Columbia County.
Yeah, Berwick is just right 4 miles away.
A couple miles away.
So it's right off of 93, right off of 80.
And if you're in the Wilkes-Barre area, I've gone to it every year for years. It's about a half hour to get there, not far at all. An easy ride down, pretty ride too.
And when you get there, it's a beautiful location.
It sure is.
Tremendous family farm with rolling hills. And it's just a perfect place for an event like this, for a festival.
And Brett, one of the reasons that we wanted to have you in tonight, as well as Richard, is because you're going to be kicking the event off this year on Thursday night. You're going to be leading a group of talented musicians through a set which you're calling Brigstock, which ties in with what will be the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Festival, which will happen in August. So, I don't want you to reveal your whole hand, obviously, because I think that the surprise of what you've got there. But, reading a little bit about what you had sent Richard, not looking for. It's not like a tribute type thing. You're trying to give these songs an organic treatment as musicians, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. I mean, like I didn't really want it to be like a totally like a nostalgic thing. I think we like you go through the Woodstock when you start going through all the material of the Woodstock, the original Woodstock show, and you'll be seeing like, you know, different artists that are covering stuff from other artists that are on the bill.
Right.
You know, I mean, you might have seen, you know, you hear like I Shall Be Released a couple times. I think Wooden Ships was played by a couple different people, not just CSNNY. You know what I mean? And I think there was just kind of this, I don't know, I hate to sound corny, like just this togetherness of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I just went and picked out my friends, you know, that I know can play.
Right.
Like mad.
And you've got Tim Husty, Rob Husty, AJ Jump, Ellie Rose, Nike on violin. Ed Randazzo looks like he might make a cameo.
Yeah, he's going to learn a couple songs.
So, you know, you've got some great players with you.
And Cliff, yeah.
And Cliff on keyboards and vocals, Cliff Starkey. Terrific roster of bands. Have you ever been, either of you, to the Bethel Woods Woodstock site? Have you been up there to that amphitheater or in that area? No?
I've played in Bethel before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there.
I mean, when you stand there up there in that field, I was up there for a couple of concerts over the years. I saw Van Halen and Rod Stewart and Sting. You feel it. And you could feel it. You know, whatever happened there. Yeah.
Well,
it's
and we all know about that show. And actually, in many ways, what we've done over the past 22 years came out of Woodstock. I mean, I was 16 years old, and that was my first introduction to the possibility of an outdoor festival, let alone on a farm.
You've said that on the show before. That put this idea in your head as a teenager that you wanted to do this on your family farm someday.
I thought I could do it. And, you know, 40 years later, I did it. I was just, everything came together for me at that time. And also a lot of the music that I listened to, the blues music that I'm listening to now, came from the bands that were playing at Woodstock, and then because a lot of those were blues-based bands, you know, Hendrix, of course, and Richie Havens and Santana, Canned Heat. All those bands were following what was going on from the old timers in the blues world, and that's really sort of what started me, and that was what sent me to the more historical, you know, discovery of the blues and bringing this all together. So.
Well, that's
putting the show together is perfect.
Yes, it is, and that's a part of the night. You know, that'll be how it kicks off.
That's our opening.
Your opening
with Bret and friends, and it'll be a 4-hour show.
Let's play one from Bret Alexander right here. This one's called "Well Laid Plans."
We're about the poetry, the rhythm and the rhyme, and the many shades of meaning revealing over time. You see, so wondrous times for you and I. And time is on our side, and in the hands of our well-laid plans. Yes, these are wondrous times, smothered in demands of our well-laid plans. But
This is Mike Miz, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on the River.
It's a standstill on the 1 and 9, but I am in a different town. I'm thinking about that birthday on the beach. You know the frozen air's blowing strong. The summertime's come and gone. I know better things are just within my reach. But now my mind is all a mess. Can't stop thinking about the way she wore that dress. The way she moves, the way she bleeds, the way she gave the love inside her heart to me. She's a North Jersey queen. If she walked into the room right now, every hair would turn around. Her smile makes the heavens open wide. I used to hang upon her every word like a song from a hummingbird. I felt lucky when she looked into my eyes. But now my mind is in distress. Can't stop thinking about her taking off that dress. The way she moves, the way she gleams, when her big brown eyes were looking up at me. She's a North Jersey queen. So take this love and drag it down. Feels like yesterday when we owned this town. So take my hand, won't you pull me up? Feels like yesterday when you stole my love. And I can see better days when the whole world shines so clean, yeah. And I spent my younger days just trying to find out what it means. She's a North Jersey queen. So take this love and drag it down. Feels like yesterday when we owned this town. So take my hand, won't you pull me up? Feels like yesterday when you stole my love. She can move me like the stereo, like a song on the radio. She's an angel in the morning, yeah, that's right. She can take you to Venerio when there's nowhere you have left to go. She got what it takes to get you through the night. Now every day I'm so depressed. You know she put back on that dress and walked away. The way she moves, the way she leaves, I can still hear her talking in her sleep. She's a North Jersey queen. She's a North Jersey queen. Oh, she's a North Jersey queen. Yeah, she's a North Jersey queen. Oh, sha-la-la-la, 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 sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la, 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 na-na-na. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, na-na-na-na-na. Sha-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, na-na-na.
Miz here on Music on the Menu on the River, a song called North Jersey Queen. And before that, Bret Alexander with a song called Well Laid Plans. Bret will be leading a group of musicians at Briggs Farm Blues Festival coming up with, like we talked earlier, it's called Brigstock, and it's a celebration of the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. Now it'll be happening on Thursday night. Miz is there. He's there.
This is there on the back porch stage on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Now talk a little bit, Richard, about, our show is locally based, so I put the whole show here together
Right.
of artists. But obviously, you have blues artists, national blues artists coming in from all over the country. Who are some of the bigger names coming in this year, or all of them? Give us the whole list if you'd like.
Okay, the whole list.
Sure.
Well, we have 22 artists.
What we're here
altogether.
for.
There's a lot of excitement about a young guy from Mississippi. His name is Kingfish. He's going to be our Saturday night headliner. There's a lot of energy. He's young. He's 20 years old. I've seen him down in Mississippi when he was 9 or 10, playing in the juke joints down there. So we're real excited about seeing him. And also, Down to the Buffalo, that's our Friday night headliner. It's a little bit different than the blues acts I've been putting on, but we follow them, and they have a big following, and they do a kind of a jam band, Zydeco, blues, Americana, very danceable. So it's another perfect act to go into the night, the last act of the night each night. Southern Avenue, it's a blues band from Mississippi. Nika Chambers is going to start us off. She's from Texas. Great vocalist. She's going to do the national anthem for us and then start off the main stage. Another favorite is Vanessa Collier. A lot of people know her. She's from Pennsylvania, but she's young and a sax player, very good vocalist. People just love her. She's played at Briggs Farm twice before. Cedric Birdside, Slam Allen. Those guys are blues royalty types. They grew up in Cedric's grandfather's R.L. Burnside, and Slam Allen's family had a band back in the Chitlin circuit, and so we do a mixture of that sort of thing, old time blues, country blues, and young, modern, up and coming like Down to the Buffalo. Heather Gillis is like an A-list guitar player, young woman. She's going to be on the back porch stage Saturday night. King Solomon Hicks from Manhattan, and then we have the local bands.
Sure.
Mikey Jr., Nate Myers from Philadelphia and Harrisburg, and then Clarence is coming back this year.
Going to play him in a moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that leads to something we were just talking about off air. You mentioned, or Alison had mentioned that someone, I don't know if they sent an email or called the office, that they saw the Woodstock thing on Thursday and were concerned that it's not a blues festival anymore. Well, obviously, with the roster of talent you just read, it's certainly still a blues festival. So let's make that clear to everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely a blues festival.
Yeah, but it is, like I said earlier, it is definitely the very important part of the blues and live music today. What happened at Woodstock, and just a lot of wonderful stuff came out of that festival. So it's appropriate for sure.
Well, I mean, Bret and I have been friends for 25 years now, and he told me years ago that the reason he plays the Black Gibson is because of B.B. King, right, Bret? That was one of your early influences as a musician.
That's why I got it originally.
Yeah. So there's blues roots all over this festival this year. And Clarence, of course, who you just mentioned, will be on the bill. Let's play one from him right now. This one's called King of Hearts.
I got the moon on my side. I got the heavens up above. Everything comes in time. Tonight's the night for love. I think love is in the air. If not, some roses will do. And my aim is to ease your mind. If that fails, there's a poem for you. Cupid aimed his bow and pierced me with his dart. Changed a stone to soul and made me the king of hearts. All the pain you had in the past, all the tears you ever cried, your heart is here at last. All your tears I kiss goodbye. Our love will age like wine to keep a smile on your with his dawn. Changed the stone to soul and made me the king of hearts. I'm the king of hearts. Me with his dart, changed the stone to soul and made me the king of
Teddy Young here on Music on the Menu on the River, a song called Let's Start All Over Again. Want to remind everybody that Teddy will be with us here at Breakers, Mohegan Sun Pocono, Wednesday night at 7, as part of the Music on the Menu live original music series. So we'd love to see you here on Wednesday for Teddy. And, of course, Teddy is an alumni of the Briggs Farm Blues Festival. He's played there in the past. And before that, we heard Clarence Spady with a song called King of Hearts, and Clarence is on the bill this year. Now, Richard, before we played those tunes, you gave us a pretty good overview of most of the talent that are on the bill this year. Is anybody else?
Yeah, the category of new acts that I want to introduce to people and to Briggs Farm, Scott Pemberton. He's a virtuoso guitar player, is a very creative guitar player, and he'll put on a show that you will be amazed by. Scott Pemberton. He's playing on the back porch stage, first act up on Saturday. So there will be a big audience.
You have the gospel show too this year as well?
Yeah, and then on Sunday, we do the Sunday Gospel Show, which is very gospel, is very important to American music and to Americana, and especially the blues. Alexis P. Suter is a festival favorite, and she'll be headlining the Gospel Show along with Slam Allen, and both Slam and Alexis come out of a gospel tradition of the blues.
And then Alison had mentioned during the break that someone's receiving a nice award.
Vanessa, at all of the age of 27, is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Philly Blues Society. So
27 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
much pressure, isn't it?
People love her, and she can handle it. And that's going to be presented to Vanessa on our stage.
Congratulations. A lot to live up to at that age, too.
It is.
A lot to look forward to at Briggs Farm. We're going to be talking about a lot more throughout the rest of the show. So take a quick break, but stick around.
The Woodlands is celebrating 50 years. Do you believe it? 50 years. For 2 generations of the Kornfeld family, there's a pretty good chance that you or someone you know slept in one of their beds. Over those 50 years, most of you came out and partied with them on the deck for 5 Day, or inside the 25th Hour, or Evolution nightclubs. For 5 decades, how many of you have dined in their legendary Left Bank Bistro or Time Restaurant? And in half of a century, thousands of you celebrated your first dance in the Grand Ballroom. For 50 years, the Woodlands has been reinventing itself, and they're not done yet. Now, they're proud to introduce the area's newest outdoor wedding venue, the Bridal Gardens, and the creation of their Streamside Apartments. The Woodlands wants to thank all of you who got them there and invite you to swing by for sushi, grab some pizza, listen to some live music, or just stop in for a cocktail. They're not slowing down. They promise. They're just getting started. Check them out at thewoodlandsresort.com.
All right, we're back here on Music on the Menu on the River. So we talked on the first part of the show a little bit about the history of the show and how it's going to be kicking off on Thursday night. And then we talked a little bit about some of the artists during the last break. But what I really like to talk about now is just the blues in general. You know, I mentioned earlier Bret playing the Black Gibson as sort of his tribute to B.B. King. Bret, how has blues music? Because, we heard, 50 years ago from the British Invasion Acts that the American blues was so influential on that incredible wave of rock and roll that came into this country in the 60s. And, how has it affected you as a artist, influence?
Yeah, I mean, my gateway drug was probably Eric Clapton.
Okay.
Was where, and then, as far as a guitar player goes, as far as a blues guitarist goes, and then there was Keith Richards, obviously, and the Beatles, of course, and then from there you go, B.B. King, Son House, Howlin' Wolf, everything, and the thing I always loved about it, and on the American side of, that same era would have been like Creedence,
right?
Which was real of a swampy blues kind of feel to it. And the thing, like I was as a kid, I never, like growing up in the '80s and stuff, I never wanted to be Eddie Van Halen. You know what I mean? I would have rather been John Fogerty.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like an economy to it. Real quick, I'll say quickly, was like one time it was at WVIA, they had a guy there that was playing keyboards doing a show, and he was actually John Fogerty's keyboard player, right? And he said something that was really profound to me. Like at the end of the show, he was talking to somebody in the audience, and they said, man, I'm listening to you play here today on your own stuff. You must be bored stiff playing John Fogerty's music, and he like stopped him immediately, and he just said, hey, it doesn't take incredible chops to play with John, but it does take impeccable taste.
Oh, nice.
You know, and that's the way I feel about the blues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not about the notes, it's space between them.
And Richard, you've dedicated 22 years of your life now to the blues, and obviously you were a fan long before that, or you could have done any kind of festival you wanted to on the farm, but you chose the blues festival. Why? What was it about this music that drew you in?
Well, it made sense to me coming out of that era. So as a teenager back in 1969, 1970. So the music I was listening to then stayed with me my whole life. And then, you know, that just all makes sense to a person later on in life because it's very deep. You know, it definitely connects to everything that's being done now. And that's where
Obviously connecting with a lot of people by the crowd that you get there every year still.
Yeah, and people, you know, it's the audience has grown, the number of bands there and the stature of the bands have grown every year, and that's a testament to the environment and the type of music that we present there. It's sort of it definitely has a connection to a past that came out of strife with the in the Mississippi Delta, but it really is about inspiration. It's more about that and making connection with other people.
Let's play another artist now who's an alumni of Briggs Farm. Brand new record out, just came out from Phyllis Hopkins. This one's called The Outside.
One thing I know for sure, before I met you, my heart was restless. One thing I know for sure is that with you I could do anything I put my mind to best, yeah. And I know some days can be very challenging. I'm here to tell you, baby, I won't change a thing. I was on the outside, 1,000 miles away from you, on the outside. Freezing cold to you, let me in.
This is Ed Randazzo, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout, right here on The River.
Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. No, no, I can't. It's getting too dark for me to see. Me to see. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Oh, Lord. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Mama put these guns in the ground, in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore, no, no, I can't. A long black cloud is hanging down on me now. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Oh, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Oh, Lord, I'm knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I once was lost, but now I sure am found. I walk this road of life, sometimes it's dark and cold, but now I find myself at the door of the Lord, and I'm knocking. I'm knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Oh, Lord. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. I'm knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Ed Randazzo here on Music on the Menu on the River, song called Knockin' on Heaven's Door, originally written by, of course, Bob Dylan. Before that, Phyllis Hopkins, brand new music from Phyllis, a song called The Outside. Ed is the alumni of Briggs Farm. He's played there quite a few times on the back porch. I've seen him do some great sets there. And he's going to be joining Bret on Thursday night as part of the Woodstock Briggs Festival on Thursday night. He's going to get up and do a couple songs too, so that should be really a lot of fun. Now, Richard, let's talk a little bit about outside the music. It's a festival, and so the food, the camping, the crafts. What have we got on tap this year?
Well, starting with the camping, camping's become a big part of the festival. You don't have to camp, but a lot of people do, and so with the campers there, we'll have food on Thursday. We'll have very special food on Thursday, and then we'll have breakfast for the campers in the morning, and then we supply the food. A Mississippi Delta soul type food is what we're putting together. And
for people that don't know, like me, what is Mississippi soul
type food? Is like macaroni and cheese,
okay,
catfish sandwiches, jambalaya, pulled pork.
Okay, that sounds good.
Stuff that's really, really health food stuff. Greens. Oh yeah, we do have collard greens, and actually, that's a big seller. I barely ever get a taste of it. It goes so fast.
You can usually smell that corn on the cob stand around the whole venue.
Yes, corn is a big popular thing, and the secret to that is picking it in the morning and then making it a couple hours later. So that's what makes the food. And actually, the food is a big part of an event like that. You want to be happy and have some good food to eat. People can bring their own beverages in with them. We don't supply alcohol, but you are welcome to bring your own. No glass bottles. But also we have, it's a 4-day event, so there's a lot of things to do. We have 50 different arts vendors throughout the festival, and we have a Stewart tank there. The guys that are restoring the Stewie tank from Berwick bring that, and we have just all kinds of things going on in addition to the 2 stages that are going concurrently through the day.
No, it's such a great hang too. I mean, I find that it has an atmosphere to it, and I think as it goes on for years, that develops even more so, obviously, because it's now something that people, wherever they jumped in, whether they're there from the beginning or they start coming 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I think for thousands of people now, it's something that they put on their calendar for every July.
They do. They consider it the best weekend of the year. A lot of them, they talk about that. And a lot of people see each other, that they meet there and they see each other that one time a year. And I have friends that I only see when they come.
Friendships have been made.
I've met there, and also families come. People have their wedding announcements all the time there, and also they have bachelor parties and things like that, and groups. You see a lot of young people that come that live different places. We have a group of people that are coming from California, and they call and they make sure they get the campsite that they like to have, and then they meet up with other friends from Florida and all over the place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so and it's nice to hear from those guys.
That's really cool.
We do keep in touch with our audience year-round on our Facebook site and on the website.
Let's play another one from Miz, who will be there on Saturday. This one's called Wink.
Times I am lonely. Too many days I am down. Too many nights I am scared all the time, 'cause I still want you around. Too many times I feel sorrow. Too many days I feel shame. Many nights I'm in fear all the time, 'cause I still want you around. Well, there's a story in your eyes child's voice inside that I never have to doubt. 'Cause never once did I blink. I got the hint before the wink. Many tears I have now shed, to wonder where they all come from. Too many nights I slept lying by the phone, 'cause I still want you around. Too many years they have passed now, to wonder how I got this old. Many nights I woke lying on the ground, 'cause I still want you around. Well, there's a story in your eyes, and I know what it's about. And there's a child's voice inside that I never have to doubt. 'Cause never once did I blink. I got the hint before the wink. Never meant to jump the gun. I light the fuse and we can run our separate ways. But thorns and pickers, thick and thin, are made to pierce your smooth, pale skin. Today, too many lonely nights have passed now, still feel sorry for myself. Too many nights I woke lying on the ground, 'cause I still want you around. Well, there's still that story in your eyes, I just don't care how it ends. I feel compelled to turn the page, but I can't seem to comprehend, 'cause I'm still waiting for the wink. With open eyes I never once did I blink. I got the hint before the... Well, I'm still waiting for the wink. With open eyes I never blink. With open eyes I never blink. With open eyes I never blink. Open eyes, I never blink.
This is Bret Alexander, and you're listening to Music on the Menu with Alan K. Stout on the River.
Walk through to get to what I need.
long way. Yeah, yeah. Seems like we've come a long way.
like we've come a long way. Yeah, yeah. Seems like we've come a long way. Seems like we've come a long way. Yeah, yeah. Seems like we've come a long way. I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this is. I've been here before. I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this is. I've been here before. But it seems like we've come a long way. Yeah, yeah. Seems like we've come a long way. You are my poison ivy. You're my fleur-de-lis. You are what I must cling to get to what I need. To get to what I need. To get to what I
Badlees here on Music on the Menu on the River, a song called Poison Ivy. Bret Alexander wrote and sang that one. And before that, Miz with a song called Wink. We're talking about the Briggs Farm Blues Festival for the whole hour, and we'll be talking about it a little bit more after the break, so stick around.
The Woodlands is celebrating 50 years. Do you believe it? 50 years. For 2 generations of the Kornfeld family, there's a pretty good chance that you or someone you know slept in one of their beds. Over those 50 years, most of you came out and partied with them on the deck for 5 Day, or inside the 25th Hour, or Evolution nightclubs. For 5 decades, how many of you have dined in their legendary Left Bank Bistro or Time restaurant? And in half of a century, thousands of you celebrated your first dance in the Grand Ballroom. For 50 years, the Woodlands has been reinventing itself, and they're not done yet. Now, they're proud to introduce the area's newest outdoor wedding venue, the Bridal Gardens, and the creation of their Streamside Apartments. The Woodlands wants to thank all of you who got them there and invite you to swing by for sushi, grab some pizza, listen to some live music, or just stop in for a cocktail. They're not slowing down. They promise. They're just getting started. Check them out at thewoodlandsresort.com.
All right, we're back here on Music on the Menu on the River. Just had a blast like we always do every year when Richard comes down, Richard Briggs, to talk about the Blues Festival. July, I don't know if we gave a date during the whole show. We just got talking about it. July 11th.
11, 12, 13, and 14. Yep. Coming up soon.
And, you know, you can get your tickets. Talk to the folks out there about where they get them. Obviously, on the website.
Most people nowadays get them online in advance. You can get them at briggsfarm.com. It's really easy. Or you can call the office at 570-379-3342. But that information's on the website, too. You can just do it with your cell phone. Or you can get tickets when you get there.
And there's options. You could go in. You could go by the day. You could get the whole package. There's all sorts of different, variables of how you...
We make it easy, and if we're very friendly, just call the office, and we'll fill you in if you haven't been there. We have a lot of new people, sounds like, are coming this year and asking all kinds of questions. So it is definitely, we provide a very comfortable environment.
And not to take any time away, but because it was last week, and Richard and I always get hit up with it around the third week of June. Yes, Richard and I still talk about trying to finish the Agnes movie. One of these days.
Well, we have the most important part, and that's the footage.
We have the stuff.
We have the stuff.
And so we'll, hopefully maybe for the 50th anniversary, we'll get that done. Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you so much for coming in. Good luck with the festival. Again, July 11th through the 14th, Briggs Farm in Nescopec. Allison, great to see you. We'll see you down there. I'm always there. I can't wait to see you again in a couple weeks down at the event. Brett, always a pleasure to see you. Richard, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
And best of luck. Good weather. You usually have it. It'll be a great time. Briggs Farm Blues Festival, July 11th through the 14th. We're leaving now with another one from Brett. This one's called Time Turns Around. Catch you next week.
There's antiques on the mantle, Hank Williams in the air, bourbon on the counter, and you cut off all your hair. The daisies on the hillside, watch the sun going down. Hoping the time turns around, hoping the time turns around. Police at the pawn shop, vampires at the mall. Country boys in gangster clothes skate round City Hall. And all the bathtub virgins cry without making a sound. They're hoping the time turns around, hoping the time turns around. We'll all be getting younger, we'll be dancing on the sun, and our souls won't remember all the damage that we've done. And the last shall be the first, and the first shall be the last. But Johnny come lately, we'll still be pumping gas. Oh, yesterday's a beggar, dressed up like a king. Tomorrow is a prophet, but he ain't saying anything. Today is just a cow